Just days after piece of shit politician Cori Bush went a little viral with her private security still calling for defunding the police, even after spending so much on private security, or having her constituents or her corporate backers pay for her private security so she could pull her stunt out on the steps at the Capitol. And, and we have to be the ones who suck it up while she's still out here pushing her bullshit narrative. Well, we couldn't go a few more days without her in the news. CNN and squad member Cori Bush are blasted for fake news story that helped to raise $230,000 for single mom of 3 facing homelessness over eviction moratorium, but who was actually just a babysitter. CNN recently came under fire for a story about a single mom of 3 children who turned out to be just a babysitter. Dasha Kelly, 32, of Las Vegas, was featured in a segment last week about her struggle to pay rent amid the end of the eviction moratorium. The outlet even brought Kelly back with the children for a follow-up interview with far-left Democratic Congresswoman Cori Bush. So if they brought her back, then the mom of these children is in here somewhere. Kelly is raising funds to cover her rent through a GoFundMe page that has raised over $230,000. Another woman named Sadia Hilo has since come forward as the girl's rightful mother and prompted CNN to release a correction. We'll find out if this Hilo woman here actually knew, but yeah, I insist on babysitting your kids on this particular day, at least for a couple hours. You know what I mean, to give her time to go do her CNN interview. They mention here the GoFundMe that has raised over $230,000 thanks to CNN. And then they mention the girls here, Sharron, 8, Kia, 7, and Imani, 5. And then they reference that she was just a babysitter. Kelly appeared on the network and was subsequently hailed by Missouri U.S. Representative Bush after claiming she faced homelessness. When the federal eviction moratorium designed to stop people being left homeless by COVID ends. But before making the clarification, CNN even brought Kelly back with the children for a follow-up interview with Democratic Congresswoman Cori Bush. So Cori Bush saw an opportunity to push her bullshit amid the Biden administration announcement that the eviction moratorium would extend until October 3rd. June, July, August, September, October. So they were trying to push it out 2 months. As you know, there's been landlord rights groups that immediately filed for an injunction to get that halted. SCOTUS already ruled on it back in July, so we'll see what happens. This is the least that we can do for you, is to step up and make sure that you get to stay in the safety and comfort of your home while we work on other things to help make sure that your life and the lives of your children are better. Bush said, remember, that's why she gets all that money for protection. She's out there doing the work. Her life matters. There is Dasha, looking not so dashing. Who are these white babies next to her? How could you not know that those weren't her kids? Look at them white babies, they're as white as me. Update, after CNN aired a story about her potential eviction, Dasha Kelly clarified to CNN that she is not the mother of the 3 children featured in the story. The lawmaker shared the segment in a tweet on August 5th in which she wrote, "When I say your congresswoman loves you, this is what I mean. Kelly, I may not be your representative, but I love you, and I will not stop working to make sure you and every person in our country has what they need to thrive." And does that mean I'm going to get personal security? Like Cori Bush, does my life not matter as much as her? She's out there doing the work. But today, CNN released the following correction to the story. After CNN aired a story about her potential eviction, Dasha Kelly clarified to CNN that she is not the mother of the 3 children featured in the story. CNN has verified she takes care of the children in her home for periods of time. The update continues. She says she originally described herself to CNN as a mother because she considers herself to be like one to them. And that's the fucking lie they always tell, right? Every time they get caught, oh, well, it's not that I'm not a mother, but that I consider myself to be one. In her case, CNN has learned the children are also cared for by their mother, Sadia Hilo, and their father, David Allison, who is Kelly's what? Who is Kelly's boyfriend? Wait. Whoa. Okay, hold up. Now, you caught it. So they're cared for by their mother. All 3 kids belong to Miss Hilo. But the father, David, who's fucking Dasha, is her boyfriend. So Okay, so what is Shadia doing? She's letting the woman who's effing her ex watch her kids. Okay, that's it. Anybody want to bet that David's still tapping a little bit of that helo on the side? GoFundMe tells CNN that they are in close contact with Kelly, and the funds will stay on hold until they verify her information. GoFundMe says no funds have been withdrawn. Got to send that money back. It's fraudulent. Will they do it? We'll see. Here's this dipshit Cori Bush and her tweet. There's the woman and some other person's kids. David Allison. I wonder if he's white. Oh, what an ugly beast she is, right? Disgusting pig. There you see the GoFundMe. Initially, they were just trying to raise $2,000. $2,000 isn't that much rent. Vegas can be pretty cheap in some areas, but $2,000 as an initial goal? Here's a statement for the fundraiser. You can pause it here if you want to read that. I can't deal with that. I do love how we got some drama, though. We got a little love triangle, little menage a trois, maybe. Reading right here, she confirmed that her boyfriend is the girl's father, but she doesn't live with him and only babysits the girls on occasion. I've loved these girls unconditionally. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if she would babysit the kids when Shadia and David would go out on a date? I got a date with my baby's mama. I know you're my side piece and all, or maybe my main bitch now, but can you watch our kids while I go out on a date and climb up Mount Hilo? That'd be funny. I've loved these girls unconditionally and have been out of the kindness of my heart, she added. Weird. I treat them as my daughters, and I care for them in this way. This detail doesn't change my original need for donations to avoid eviction. Shouldn't her man be helping her out? Shouldn't he be kicking her a little cheddar? Or shouldn't she be going to live with him? I wonder. And I will be using the funds to get back on my feet and support my family, so she thinks she's going to get the funds. Wow. I wonder how many people would like to get a refund once they find this out. Last year, Kelly lost her job as a card dealer. Can you imagine her working in any reputable casino? Maybe in old downtown Vegas. Kelly lost her job. She is among over 11 million Americans that are behind on their rent, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Cori Bush has not made any public statements following CNN's correction. The Congresswoman recently sparked a hypocrisy storm, and they're going to talk about it here, after saying that she will continue to spend thousands of dollars in personal security because she feared for her life. And I guess I would say if you weren't such a piece of shit, then you probably wouldn't have to fear for your life. While concurrently calling to defund the police despite warnings, it will leave poorer Americans less safe. And maybe those poorer Americans, particularly in her district, should revolt against her. Will they? Nah. She's on the Maxine Waters train. She'll be in office for what, 20, 30, 40 years maybe? Aunt Pearl, as Jericho Green likes to call her. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life, Bush told CBS News in an interview outside the Capitol. And I have too much work to do. There are too many people that I need help right now for me to allow that. Narcissistic piece of shit. If she goes, there'll be 100 others just like her, hopefully better, that can take her place. She is not important at all. So if I end up spending $200,000 or if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. Do the work. Critics of Bush said her comments were a gift to Republicans and will be likely used to help paint the Democrats as too left-wing and out of touch at the 2022 midterms and even the 2024 presidential election. And people, I think it's clear that they are. However, the Democrats won the presidency and they pulled to a 50-50 split in the Senate. Maybe that's what people want. Losers helping losers. Heartwarming, eh? Sick of these phonies? Yet. Who watches fake news CNN? You got to be a liberal loon. It just goes to show how absolutely gullible everyone has gotten. Trump has made more than $100 million lying for money. Well, I think he'd probably want you to come up more bigly on that number, 100 million. Of course, he has had to give a lot of it back because the courts determined the money was fraudulently obtained. Oh, okay, I think he's talking about Trump U. But this does not mean that people don't keep giving him money. Who are these people who give their money to these grifters? And it's interesting, Zippy from San Jose, you can certainly say that about Trump University. I'm not going to speak on that. But his downvote ratio Here, and I'm assuming it's a he, could be a female, but 2 upvotes to 23 downvotes. I often say, and we're not talking about Trump specifically, but I often say that the biggest criminals we have, and you've probably heard this before, reside in the Capitol complex in Washington, D.C. The biggest criminals in this country, that is. Those tied to them, the lobbyists for corporations, and the friends of these politicians, their donors, donor class, corporations, and their ties to these politicians who are bought and paid for, say domestically and abroad. Those are the biggest criminals we have. So grifters, sure, Cori Bush is probably on that level. He points a finger at Trump. You can probably find that Trump University thing was a huge bit of grifting. And if I recall, there was something kind of towards the end of the 2020 election cycle where a lot of people were having their accounts charged repeatedly for transactions that they didn't authorize that turned out to be money going into his campaign coffers. So you can play the whataboutism, but when we do that, we've got to make sure to bring it back and stick to what we're talking about here. The last 4 years have been spent on Trump, so let's kind of move past that for now. We're in the Biden era. Let's focus on that. And then if Trump gets reelected in 2024, don't worry, Zippy. You can get back to him at that time. But the downvote, I think, is a little bit unfair. I get it. He hearkened Trump's name. The MAGAs are like pounding on the dislike button. I get it. You have to make sure to call out everybody, though. That's all I would say. She isn't just a babysitter. Okay. I thought he was going to get more. I thought this person was going to get more explicit, so that's why I kind of laughed. She lives with the girl's father, and they split time 1 week on, 1 week off. It was a poor investigation by CNN. But the money hasn't been realized and probably won't be. That'll be the interesting thing to see. 1, we know Cori Bush is a grifter and a piece of shit. 2, will this woman get the money? Because she's already thinking about what she's going to do. She said she's going to use it to get back on her feet and help her family. Thousands of scammers around the world these days. I'd say hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million, Kathleen Lee. But she's already got the money spent in her mind, right? She's got the new Lexus coming her way. She's not buying a condo. She wouldn't set any aside and max out her IRA. Is it $5,500 still yearly for the Roth IRA, or did they up that? She's not going to open a Roth IRA with Vanguard if she doesn't have one. She's not going to set up a 9-month emergency fund. She's going to get a Lexus. She's going to throw a party, probably go out on the strip, start blowing money in the casinos. Got to make sure to lace up her family members as well with new whips. The and-thems is what Jericho said long ago. Mom and them, grandma and them, the and-thems. She's got to make sure to lace them up. Because you know somebody, and this is anybody, this could be anybody, that you know, somebody you see on TV, if you would do something like this, push the scam that far, then you probably aren't going to be too wise with your money decisions. Hopefully she gets a financial planner if she does get that windfall, but I know a lot of people out there want to see her get shit on and not get any of that money, which would be poetic justice, baby. Come on, GoFundMe, hook it up. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Take care and be well. Let me know what you think about this stuff. Cori Bush.
We've got Bush. Oh, yeah, pie.